performance on film.
Good afternoon, everyone. And while it's midday here in this arena, I must give an ode to my favorite artist of all time, Kendrick Lamar. Top of the morning. So, before I begin rambling, I thought I would do a little bit of a show and tell. This here is a letter that I wrote to myself in 8th grade to what I hoped was a more mature and refined senior self. Obviously, I was hoping for too much. Some questions I asked in this letter to myself were, do you have a girlfriend? Is Hollister still trendy? Do you still listen to Drake? Do you still play the violin? Did you graduate summa cum laude or valedictorian? It's okay if you didn't. I'm sure you can answer that last one, if not all of them, depending on how well you know me. But I bring this up because I'll admit, as much as I'd like to deny, even today there are many things I don't know still. Physics being one of them. And another being how to write a killer valedictorian speech. Google was no help for this one, sadly. So, as one does, when I was first handed this task, I thought, what will I ever write about? In fact, the only thought that I really had was that I would have to face another untitled document inside of my Google Drive. Yet, after attending a total of 4 speech and debate meetings this year, countless hosted meetings at the library, barely passing AP research, and writing too many college essays to count, I found consolation in this one. I was ready to stomach one final piece of writing, because it's not only about me, but in fact about all of us, the class of 2022. 3 years ago, at my first graduation, I was sitting back there in the orchestra, and I would have never imagined myself to be on the other side, as much as my 8th grade self would have believed. Today, I am more than honored to be able to deliver this speech at the first in-person graduation since then. Before I get too far ahead of myself, though, I'll start with where most speeches are, my thank yous. Thank you to my parents for paying for all of those AP review books and supporting my journey to graduation. The amazing staff and administration at Olentangy for teaching me everything I know and also letting me hide away during my study halls in their classrooms and offices. Olentangy Orchestra for being my primary reason for showing up the last semester. Tangy Thon for helping me learn how to count money. Great Uncrustables and Bang Energy Drinks for being my source of nutrition this past year. And the long list of friends that asked me to name drop them into the speech. Sorry guys. So, as you know by now, I'm a violinist, a track runner, and an awful public speaker. Oftentimes, I boast my violin playing abilities, but today I wanted to give my track career a shot. As a person who felt the need to get involved with everything under the sun throughout high school, sports were always a difficult one to figure out. Track was my sport of choice because I couldn't handle the pressure of making free throws in a basketball game and didn't have the endurance to last even a half of soccer. At first, what was a last-ditch effort to prove that I, a scrawny little Asian boy, had some athleticism in me, became an activity I began to fall in love with because of the people and the lessons I've learned. Lessons as minor as not checking a Celsius and downing a 6-inch sub before a 4x200 because you'll be hugging the toilet, or as important as taking care of yourself before and after a race. However, the most resonant lesson I learned was perseverance. Perseverance is a lesson that most of us have learned within our years of walking the halls at Olentangy High School. It can be observed in many ways. It can be as small as still coming to school after you got a flat tire ignoring your TPMS in the middle of January, or continuing to walk up the stairs after tripping in front of 50 underclassmen. It could be as big as getting rejected sophomore year homecoming and still enjoying the night, or enduring the uncertainty of a pandemic, something each and every single one of us has had to do in the last 2 years. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a runner, but more specifically, I'm a hurdler. So, as if running already wasn't tough enough, I enjoy throwing obstacles and mid-air lunges into my race, all the while trying to avoid falling. If anything, hurdles are undoubtedly the scariest race, but also the one that requires the most perseverance. Whether we like it or not, all throughout our lives, we're met with this hurdles metaphor. There's obstacles in our lives that we have to overcome. But in reality, we don't always overcome these hurdles, and we definitely don't overcome them in the same ways. In fact, my fellow hurdlers can attest to this. Many times we fall right through them before we even get a chance to jump. Analogously, we beat up ourselves over the feats we cannot overcome. We don't think to even give ourselves credit for making it to the other side. We're often told to conform to a single method of perseverance, but sometimes falling straight through is okay, as long as you've made it to the other side. And here we all are, on the other side. And as difficult as it is to believe, our lives have been changed, for the better or for the worse. Nothing is for certain in girls, as is nothing in the life they live. I mean, think about it. We went from hand dryers to paper towels, back to hand dryers, which still aren't on in the music hallway, by the way, in the bathrooms over the course of only 16 months. Clearly, there has been some change. Now, just as I began my speech, I would like to end it in the same manner, with some words of wisdom from a brutally honest 13-year-old me. Dear class of 2022, I hope you've all led yourselves on a path to success in life. Maybe you figured out where you're going next. Maybe you haven't. That's okay. I hope you all grow to become confident and secure in who you are. Believe in yourself and always do what you believe in. And now from my 17-year-old self, who probably will say this with a lot less finesse than my 13-year-old self did. We all have been integrated into Olentangy High School, and now we're ready to become integrated. I can sense the calculus haters seething right now. It's what all these years of school have been preparing for us. But before our sights begin to reach horizons farther than the Kroger Marketplace down the road, we must remember where we integrated first. And as much as we're eager to begin the rest of our lives, we must take these years and remember both our accomplishments and our trials. Congratulations on persevering through it all. I wish you all the very best, and just remember, as you walk out of this arena, you're never alone, and you're forever brave. Thank you.